Hello guys and welcome back to the fourth part of What If Luffy was Yuta's reincarnation named Dreams, and it is currently 3:48. Just want to let y'all know because I got up and I couldn't go back to sleep. I just felt full of energy, so I'm doing this for y'all. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and the notification bell to update on all my future videos, and please hit the like and comment as much as you can below. It helps with the algorithm. I feel like I don't mention that enough. And also, some of you aren't subscribed, you still watch the videos but you forget to subscribe, so I'm gonna give you a little bit of time to do that right now. Alright, if you've done it, well, thank you. If you haven't, I'm very disappointed, but you can make that to me by just subscribing right now. Subscribe. Alright, let's get into the recap. I just hope you will enjoy this, and yeah, enjoy. The last part began with the Stars taking Miss Wednesday and Mr. Nine to Whiskey Peak. They were accommodated very well, but as night falls, Zoro and Luffy fight and are attacked by the people, and they were planning to hand them over to the government for money because they found out how valuable Luffy was. Upon beating them, they are then met by Mr. Five and Valentine, who they beat and make a deal to help Vivi and Igaram from because they were trying to chase them since they were from Alabaster. They take the princess, with Igaram then going the opposite way to draw attention away, and they meet Robin, go to the little garden where Luffy finds and beats Mr. 3, 5, and Valentine once and for all. He talks to Crocodile and leaves, a little message that he will beat him. He's declaring war. So, after the top Crocodile, he will then meet the Giants with everyone again, and then they meet the Island Guardian that Luffy cuts apart. However, Nami gets sick and they have to go find a doctor, leading to Chopper joining the crew eventually. And they arrive at Alabaster. Luffy tells, he goes and finds Ace, and they talk a little bit, you know how it goes, and soon they're captured by Crocodile. Not really, Luffy was faking it, and Smoker's also there, and blah blah blah. You know what happened. Luffy beat his ass, and then he had to go to fly to Anohana, exhausting a huge amount of cursed energy as he stops a main battle from happening, thus changing the whole fate of Alabaster forever. And then he lets Rika take over and finish everything while he lost consciousness and woke up 2 days later. Zoro would then walk into the room saying hi to Luffy, who asked the details on what happened while he was out cold. But what about Bond? He really came through for Alabaster in the end. Walking in at that moment, however, the wife of Igaram would then say, "You don't worry about your little head about it. I prepared a feast for y'all." "Igaram? Is that you?" yells Zoro. "How are you dressing up, man?" Vivi, however, would then clear the confusion, saying that this is his wife, and everyone is shocked because they look alike, which is extremely creepy, I might add. But she said that she had prepared a feast, which the Stars would then go to enjoy at the royal dining room, with Cobra himself being present, along with Igaram and, of course, Vivi. "Sorry about all this, they're just really excited," Luffy said. His crew would be completely going ballistic at this point on the food, leaving the guards shocked, but Cobra said that it was okay. "I just wish I could thank the spirit that liberated us. Word says it was a force of nature." "Oh, actually, Rika, come out." Rika would then stick her head and arms out from the black void, wrapping her arms around Luffy and asking what was up, and all the palace guards jump back in fear, but Cobra would then stay calm, saying, "I would like to thank you. You helped liberate us." "I did it for Luffy. Still, thank you. Would you like to join us?" As expected of His Highness, he's actually conversing with this thing like it's nothing. The guards thought, that is freaking terrifying. What is she? What is it? Whatever it is. Rika would then see that she doesn't really eat and goes away, asking to be called when a fight is brought up. "So you truly did not eat any fruit at all?" asked Cobra. "It's a technique. It's learnable, but well, you have to be as damaged as me." Cobra wonders what that means, and Luffy eats, saying his power essentially comes from extreme trauma. To control cursed energy, you need to control yourself, so you make sure you don't curse yourself. That's why I got knocked out for 2 days. I did go a little bit overboard. Cobra is amazed by the technique, but wonders how much he is holding back to have such power. A price for everything, huh? He thought. Also, after a while, the guards just do get used to the Stars. They have a very good vibe about them. It ends up just turning into a party, and it's just fun for everyone. Later on, the men and the women then go to the baths and get cleaned up, but a bigger issue comes with Chaka, Pell, and Igaram having gotten the bounties of Zoro and Luffy. With 150 million on his head now, Luffy was a captain, showed with Rika behind him as his poster picture, and he already had a title naming him Cursed King, but some people also just called him Straw Hat for simplicity's sake because he always had a straw hat. As night falls that day, however, Luffy knows that he will be chased, and even though Crocodile has lost his warlord status, it doesn't matter because the Marines are going to be Marines, are going to chase them. So they move out the very next day and travel to the deserts, to the shore where Bon Clay had actually moved their ship to safety. He contacted them in advance, like in the original, and the sun had risen as they arrived. And though they're a bit suspicious, the loyalty he showed to Luffy when he was at his weakest state is something that they cannot deny. And as Bon and his men sail off with tears in their eyes, they would then say they should work again sometime. Of course, you're our friend, yells Usopp Chopper. And Luffy, as they would then yell, also have tears in their eyes, and they're, of course, like, just getting emotional. And Nami said, you guys are just way too lax about this stuff. We barely know him. The moment he took care of Mary, his spot was solidified, Luffy said. Are you sure it'll be fine, yells Bon. As he summons Rika, Luffy says nothing else, and nothing else is needed, and Bon understands. But of course, the Marines begin to roll in, with Hina walking forward and using her binoculars to see the so-called Cursed King and his strongest curse. That thing makes Hina creeped out, she said. Holding his hand out, Luffy would then have Rika make him a megaphone, with Hina then telling everyone to cover their ears as Luffy would then yell, sleep. A violent sound wave spreads and hits the Marines all aboard their ships and those at the shore, making them fall asleep regardless of them blocking their ears, leaving Bond and his crew completely baffled. If you can't cover your ears with cursed energy, then it won't work, said Luffy. The megaphone then fades into nothing as the ships begin to go their separate ways, and then smooth sailing from there, they say goodbye. The things you could do with cursed energy are insane, said Nami. I'm not going to help you steal anything. I wasn't going to suggest that. Everyone would then turn to look at her, even Sanji, with their saying that they're all just being so restrictive for no reason. Quickly, they would then make their way to the nearest port, and they wait for Vivi, hoping she would come and join the crew, and they wait until noon when she finally shows up. They all get excited with Luffy telling Usopp to bring Mary closer, but Vivi will then say that she came to say goodbye. I can't leave. I still love this kingdom. While saddened by the news, the pirates understand, but it just hurts because Vivi has become a part of the crew already. Alright then, Luffy said. With tears in her eyes, Vivi would then ask, but if we meet again, will we still be? Of course we will. Don't even finish that sentence. You know what our answer is. These words strike a chord in Vivi, who holds her mouth in complete happiness, and Kuro will be just quacking over and just like saying goodbye, with both he and Vivi now bawling their eyes out, like the Straw Hats who cannot believe this is where their journey has to come to an end. One day I'll get you on this ship for real, I promise, yells Luffy. With everyone saying goodbye, every passing moment they get further and further until both sides can no longer be seen, and it is on to the next adventure. But obviously, parting leaves some scars, with the whole crew whining about her being gone over the balcony. Would you stop, says Zoro. If you want her, you could just capture... You know what? No, Luffy would never do that. Of course I wouldn't. She's our friend, said Luffy. You're so heartless, Zoro. I'm not sparring you tomorrow. Now, wait a minute. No, Zoro's mean, said Chopper. Idiot. Mosshead. No direction. Zoro is left fuming with him yelling for them to get down from there, when their door is then open, and they all look down to see Robin make her way out. Hello, Straw Hat. Oh, hi. They all get serious with Nami asking how she got on board and when, and Robin said that she made her way over the day Crocodile was beaten, while she proceeds to set up a chair. I've lost good business because of you. Yeah, from trying to ruin a country, Zoro said, as he went to unsheath his blade, when a limb would then form and smack the blade, but it does nothing, with Zoro saying, did you think your puny arms could stop me? There is murderous aura between the two, though it is more so from Zoro, but Luffy says to stop. I need you to give me a reason, just one, as to why I shouldn't throw you off my ship. I warned you about Little Garden. Giants are nothing to me. Taking his seat to the deck, Luffy would then ask, what are your skills? As his eyes twinkle with interest, Robin would then feel a much more serious vibe from the captain, and she thinks that he's either going to kill her or torture her, so she says that she's quite the archaeologist and could be very useful. Okay then, welcome to the crew. As silence sets in, the Straw Hats then yell, asking what the hell is he talking about. Meanwhile, Sanji is already love-struck and taken with Robin, so he doesn't care. Luffy would then stand seeing that he was just looking for a reason to make her join. You remind me of someone I used to know, but you're way more conniving. How did you know I wanted to join? Tilting his head, Luffy would say, you snuck onto our ship. Right. Bad question, Robin said. Luffy, this woman is dangerous, said Usopp. Don't worry, she's not a bad person. Just try to get along. Because Luffy has accepted her, the crew does try to accommodate her and, their new crewmate, but she draws them in with different things one by one, and Chopper's just like playing with her devil fruit appendages. It's fun. Usopp and Zoro, however, stand strong, but then Luffy calls for Usopp, and as he turns, he sees him with him having like Robin's arms at his head, and he says, look, I'm Chopper. Bursting into laughter, he joins into their horseplay, and they die out laughing on the floor, with Zoro thinking, seriously? That's all it took? Now, with Robin kind of being initiated, the ride is still smooth sailing. She is relatively new, but she's an interesting character they want to know more about. But then it starts to rain, or so it looks like. As Usopp looks up, his eyes leap from his sockets, as is everyone else's, when they see a giant ship falling from above. They manage to escape it, with Luffy not having to even do anything, but their ship is filled with bones and old things from that ship that they have to throw overboard, and they wonder what that was all about. Robin says their lock post has probably locked onto Sky Island, aka Skypiea. Checking the debris of the ship, Luffy will then find a map while he leaps into the sea, where Robin will then explain what Sky Island even is, and even if people don't really know like if it exists, and people deny that it exists because it sounds too ludicrous. But Luffy brings back the map to for Skypiea, and this felt a bit more serious. Nami will then send out Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro to salvage the ships, but while they're down there, the Star ship is approached by Masura, a monkey man whose main gig is to salvage and just like destroy anything and just, you know, take from it. And he's here with his crew. What are you doing here, yells Masura? This is my territory. Territory? Yeah, any sunken ship around here belongs to me and my men. As we go down below, the three pirates look around and they start to feel some shaking as the ship they're on is slowly risen until the water level drops so much so that they can take off their suits. I wonder who's trying to pull this thing up, says Zoro. Masura then busts in at that moment and lands with Luffy then becoming wowed, saying that he looks cool, and a simple, kind of stupid, naive Masura just thinks and gets completely distracted from his main goal. While they're talking, they're then swallowed by a sea king turtle while it resurfaces, leaving both the crews worried for their mates, but then it gets dark and something bizarre occurs. The turtle will then open its eyes in shock to see a giant silhouette of three people up ahead, just in the clouds, much like everyone else, and the turtle's mouth just hangs open wide in shock, allowing the three to jump out, and these silhouettes then strike down with their spears in hand as the Stars then roar away quickly in fear, with Masura being on their ship until they're safe. Then they kick him off because, you know, he's overstaying his welcome, and that's like, well, what the hell are you doing here? And with the stolen log post for Jaya that was stolen by Robin from Masura's crew, they head to the island to ask more info about Skypiea. However, this island is drastically unlike any other and made for criminals, and this time only Zoro, Robin, and Luffy go out while the others stay. Robin more so sneaks out though, and Zoro and Luffy walk about, and they're honestly pretty interested in this place. There are a lot of interesting characters, said Luffy. It's like a fight could happen at any moment. They would then come across such an interesting character with him lying on the ground from his horse that he fell off of. Can you fellows help me out? Running forward, Luffy would then help the man up, saying, "Are you okay? You seem really sick." He puts the man atop his horse, with the man then coughing up blood and saying he had a naturally weak constitution. When this bizarre cloud of energy, transparent energy, then covers him, and those on the streets then look and see the man stand upright, he becomes fixed. He's healed, and he asks, "What did you do?" "Well, I can't heal sickness, but you won't be coughing up blood anymore from now on." The horse driver then coughs up blood as well, with a worried Luffy then going to heal him and doing so, while the man watched, shocked, and soon Zoro just grabbed his captain and dragged him away so they wouldn't attract any attention, and Luffy said, "Stay safe, sir." "Stop sounding so soft. You think everything I say is soft," Luffy said. "What the hell is that bastard?" the criminal said. He looks kind of familiar, but he's too lenient to be one of us." Zoro then lets Luffy walk again, eventually asking him to stop being like that because this is a different ballpark, and they would then walk into this resort type area while just looking around, and it looks very nice, very completely different from the rugged town. From behind though, they hear a man and turn to see him run over, saying that they can't be here. This place was reserved by the Bellamy crew. Who the hell are these guys? The man is stunned by the voice of Big Knife as he enters the area, and he has a girl with him. "Oh, Mr. Sarkis, welcome back." "Whatever, just get them out of here," said the girl. "We're not paying for this bad service." Closing in on Luffy, Sarkis, or if you want to call him Big Knife, tells Luffy to get lost. "Got it, brat." "Yeah, he's lucky it's Luffy. I'm surprised Ricky hasn't come out yet and bit his head off," Zoro thought. Apologizing though, Luffy would then bow as he tells Zoro that they have to leave. After all, they did reserve this place. I mean, as dickish as being, like, Luffy doesn't really care. So they leave. Their next destination is a pub crowded with many people, and they get some food ordered, and as he bites into this pie he ordered, however, Luffy says, "It isn't as good as I thought it'd be. This pie is so good I could freaking die." As he hears this, Luffy would then turn to see Teach, who said it, and Teach is kind of hating on him, and Luffy just waves at Teach, who would grab a drink and sip, asking, "You don't belong here, do you?" "What? No, I'm a pirate." "You? What's your bounty? 30 million? With a scowl, Blackbeard would then see that he's lying, and Luffy says, "Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe, right?" The bar owner, however, then sees Teach getting hostile and says that there's no fighting here and he has to leave. And as Blackbeard would leave, he's then, however, met by Bellamy, who enters with a sadistic look. "Anybody here seen a pirate with a straw hat?" he asked. As everyone realizes that it's Bellamy, the vibe completely changes as Luffy and Zoro notice, and he enters with his crew, and they start to take seats, making others give up their seats, and Bellamy sits where Teach did, telling the bar owner to give Luffy whatever he wanted, and by this point Blackbeard was gone. "Oh no, I'm not here to drink," Luffy would say. "Sir, I actually have a question. Do you know where the Sky Island might be, or do you have any clues about it? We're trying to get to it really fast." Everything becomes quiet before everyone bursts into laughter. Sky Island? He wants to go to Sky Island. Are you stupid? Hey, listen to this guy. They're hysterical and cannot believe that this guy is asking this, but once again, Luffy just asks politely, and Bellamy at this point, angered, goes to grab him by the head with a smirk, but then a giant pale arm grabs his. Everyone freezes and slowly looks up to see Rika come from her void as she squeezes Bellamy's arm, making him scream, with everyone hearing his arm crack and shatter. "Don't touch Luffy, Rika!" The spirit would then let go of Bellamy upon Luffy saying this, and he would then land, bouncing back with a kick while thinking, this bastard probably can't even fight. I'll just kick his ass in. His words are then cut short when Luffy's gaze meets his, with him catching his foot, twisting it, and every single bone in his leg would snap as he screams to the sky, and Bellamy's crew can only watch in horror as their captain falls to the floor while crying his eyes out, and Rika encroaches behind Luffy. Who are you? You're just supposed to be some nobody, yells Bellamy. Kneeling down, however, Luffy would then cover his leg with reverse curse energy as his leg then twists back into place in an instant. The pain stops, it goes away like it was never there, and Luffy would just smile. I'm glad I could still fix that, sorry about that. I got a bit worked up. Zoro would then chuckle, thinking, they don't even know how to react. Covering Bellamy's broken arm with reverse curse energy as well, Luffy heals it, and he has Rika go away, and, he holds his hand out to Bellamy, who grabs it in a state of shock and helps him up. And Luffy says, it's not cool to crap on people's goals, Just do what you want, but, don't be a dick. Looking back, he then told the owner thanks as he then nods in a daze, where Rika disappears, of course. I don't know why I keep saying that. I have to mention it, because she's terrifying for people to be around. And Luffy then grabs Zoro, dragging him off, and Zoro would then whine to see he had not finished his meal yet. The two would then go past the scared, stiff Bellamy, and Big Knife cannot believe he tried to fight with this guy. Like, he literally called him a brat to his face. He could have died. That creature, his strength, that's the king of curses. Yeah, word says that he doesn't need a devil fruit, but he can do crazy stuff. Mummy begins to spread while Bellamy is just stuck in the same place thinking, he healed me? What kind of pirate is that? Is that bastard even a pirate? As Luffy walks out, those who have heard the distinct voice of Bellamy realize that he must have him up, and they had an instinct that told him that Luffy was not to be messed with. And this is when a voice is heard. They're pretty stupid, huh? Luffy would then turn to see Blackbeard, who sits on the street. I don't know what you heard, but some idiots think that this new age is rolling in. That is a lie. A man's dream will never end. Ain't that right? Yep. Have a good day, sir, Luffy said. They would then take a leave and return, as Robin does as well, and she went looking for some new clothes, some fashion. She also got some information about someone who believes in Sky Island, but on their way to him, they meet another primate man, and this one used sound waves to try and wreck their ship. He did a little bit, but Luffy put him and his crew to sleep before they went out and also fixed up Mary a little bit. And very soon they arrive at Mont Blanc Cricket's home and find a castle. Whoa, he's rich, yells Chopper. Yeah, he's rich in lies, Luffy said. Look closer, it's cardboard. The sad Chopper then weeps as Luffy comforts him, saying that he should still be here. And they dock and find that on the other side there is an actual house that they then enter and check out, since the guy's apparently not here. And while they check it out, Nami finds a book. Yeah, it was on the outdoor table. She reads The City of Mont Blanc Nolan. It was the name of the book. When Mont Blanc Cricket then rises out of the sea to fight, he thinks that they're intruders, but he then falls and develops the bends. It's a condition that befalls frequent swimmers, and this guy swims a lot. Chopper had to take him and, help him stabilize inside. And at that moment, though, Masura and Shoujo, the other primate man, who were put to sleep, would then run in. What do you think you're doing to our brother? Oh, don't worry, we're just treating him, Luffy said. Oh, you're so nice. Yeah, what the hell? You guys should have acted like this before. These guys are so simple, they all thought. But they do get along. The monkeys reconcile with Luffy and their crew before Mont Blanc Cricket then wakes up apologizing for attacking. I thought you were after my gold. You have gold? Don't even think about it, Nami. We don't need gold, but what we do need is information, Luffy said. Shoot, you saved my life. I owe you. Luffy would then ask about the island, and the old man laughs, saying it's a fool's tale, but Luffy's eyes remain unchanging and unwavering. You really believe that, liar, huh? Well, me too. What the hell did you laugh, yells Usopp, and Cricket would then say that he thought they were joking. Also, that fool's blood runs through my veins, but I don't want to fall prey to its curse. Curse? The other strangers have made fun of me my entire life because I'm related to the guy. Do you know what that's like? Mont Blanc spend their entire lives trying to prove his story right. I tried to escape, and here I am. You keep crowing on about this guy, and you'll end up a laughingstock, kid. Sorry, but I don't really care. I didn't come to the sea for fame. I did it for fun and purpose. I want to go to Sky Island. Don't worry. You're not cursing me. Yeah, you're not gonna give up, huh? Fine, try your own risk. I'll lend you a hand. You seem interesting. Cherry and the whole crew gets hype as very soon Cricket then divulges that he thinks there is a way to Skypiea, and he has his brothers reinforce their ship since using the knockup stream will take a huge toll on Mary, and they also, start to add wings on it. Until then, you idiots can stay here. Wait, isn't this way too convenient, guys? Usopp said. We just met this guy. Why are you being so friendly? It's suspicious. Hey, Usopp, said Luffy, just calm down. You shut up. A huge silence then sets in as Usopp would freeze and turn back to see his captain, who no longer had this calm demeanor, and Chopper and Nami get worried for Usopp, much like everyone else, but Luffy would then sigh, saying, if he leads us toward death, I'll take responsibility. Not that it's gonna happen anyway, so apologize. Walking past Usopp, Luffy would then join the Monkey Brothers, and Usopp would then go to apologize to Cricket, but he says that it doesn't matter. You're looking out for your crew, understandable, but you never, and I mean you never, talk to your captain like that. Especially when it comes to a real situation. With tears in his eyes, Usopp would then say yes, with him then turning and running to Luffy and just snot running down his face, and he asks Luffy to forgive him as he hugs him, and he says, I can never stay mad at you, but get off, you're getting snot on me. The crew would then stay and party with the man and his brothers, and they also have to later find the South Bird, which can tell them which way they need to go for the knockup stream. And since the Grand Line will not let their Lopos get there, easily, that's why they need it specifically. They find the bird and night passes, and the next day they leave at dawn with the now upgraded Mary with full wings. They head out with Luffy promising to show Cricket something amazing, and his two brothers accompany them. And upon arriving where they needed to be, they waited until the knockup stream began to readily, steadily, slowly, create a whirlpool, pulling in Mary into it. Oh, we're gonna die! Oh my god, why did we come here? It's a bit too late for that, said Luffy. Alright, this is where we split up, said Master. Stay safe. Hang on tight, said Sojo. Safe? How? Are you insane? Do you even see a Sea King be crushed by this thing? It was a giant one. This whirlpool just gobbled it up like nothing. And the panic spreads, but then that whirlpool will just disappear and the sky begins to form a convergence point. They're confused, they don't know what's going on, and this is when the Blackbeard pirates arrive on this raft-like ship, and he's with his entire crew. Wait, Straw Hat, we need that head of yours. It's worth 150 million after all. Oh, really? My bounty went up, guys. That's awesome. You can do better, said Zoro. Be supportive at least. Jeez, Luffy yells. Master and his brother, however, then tell Straw Hat to hold on to something because the knockup stream is coming. And as they get ready, they're then shot to the sky by a pillar of water, and they ride on the side and actually start to head to the skies. And using the wind current made by the stream, they ride on air and go higher and higher, and then boom, they resurface on clouds. After catching their breath and landing, the crew would then stand and overlook the area they now stood in, and it was just amazing. It was a lot, but it was amazing. Wait, the lock post is still pointing up, said Nami. We must be only on the first level or something, said Robin, as Luffy would then fly out yelling, I knew it was real. Ha! You heard that, Cricket? Skypiea is real. Yeah, woo! Luffy, could I ask for a favor? Robin asked. In the following moments, Luffy would then fly down to the Cloud Ocean with an eye of Robin inspired on his palm, allowing her to see everything, including when a massive octopus shows itself. Luffy would then erupt from the ocean with it attacking, but he hits its tail with a thin icebreaker, causing a crack to spread through it and space as it would then pop like a balloon. It popped, yells Usopp. What the hell? Luffy would then land as he says that their body must have adapted to living here, and he hands Robin a fish that he picked up on the way. She expects it and relays info to everyone about it, and it's just really amazing. They're literally balloons. That's how they are now. But from afar, Chopper would then report a man coming for them, just as they see from afar a ship be blown up, and the man then rides forward after doing this somehow on the clouds, and he would then declare that he will beat them. That bastard must have been the one that sent that ship down, as Zoro said. The man then lands atop Mary's head, but Luffy then instantly moving and kicking him to the sky, despite him blocking with a shield, which then shatters. You're truly from the Blue Sea, the Shandorian asks. Luffy, now standing on Mary's head, would then look back, seeing his friends are actually having trouble breathing and moving, and they can feel it as well. It's just that he has Kurt's energy reinforcing his lungs. The man would then manage to land far off, while Luffy prepares to jump down and beat him, when a knight then drops from the sky on a trusty steed and takes him out with one thrust of his lance, sending him flying. Landing on their ship, he introduces himself as the Sky Knight, with everyone thanking him for the help, and Zoro and Sanji start to catch their breath. It must be due to the air being so thin, said Robin. Don't blame yourselves. You must all be from the Blue Sea, said the knight. How are you fine? He looks to Luffy, he says that he's reinforcing his lungs with cursed energy. That man doesn't know what the hell that is, but whatever works, works, But But of course, Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy's body begin to adapt naturally quickly, and even though the Sky Knight wants to help them for some money, they say they're fine, and they don't even have X tools that he's asking for to pay him with. Did you people read that beastly knockup stream? We didn't have to, Nami asked. The Knight would then say that there are many ways up here, and they all have horrible perils, but it's surprising that they haven't lost anyone. It's honestly very amazing. Leaving behind a whistle to call him, he then rides off on his trusty steed, which turns into something that they never expected. It looks kind of ugly. What it takes is like its horse form, and the Strats went about their way. But Luffy, noticing how like amazing the clouds are, like they legitimately do not, like they don't let you sink through them. Some of them don't. As they get closer and closer to Heaven's Gate, he notices this. He flies out. He just explores. And at Heaven's Gate, they meet an old woman who asks them for billions of X tools, which they cannot possibly pay. But then they're allowed to just go anyway. Are you sure, Nami asked? This is kind of suspicious. I'm simply a guardian. Just do what you want. Thank you, Luffy said. But how do we... Whoa! From below, there comes a crab that takes them up, and away. And once they get high enough to, whatever they're trying to go to, they reach a beach. And upon that beach, they somehow anchor their ship before then running out to enjoy themselves. Everything is so fluffy here. As he jumps into a beach chair, Luffy says that it's like everything is made of clouds. Even the beach chair is made of clouds. But as he relaxes, he and everyone begin to hear a melody. And looking far off, they come to see Coney playing her harp. Oh, hello. You seem new. It's an angel. An angel. Walking forward, Luffy would then tell Sanji to stop being disrespectful, as he would then meet Coney and shake hands with her. She introduces herself and her fox named Sue. Her father would then also crash nearby via a waiver, but he's okay. And he invites the Strats to his home. Meanwhile, Nami would then go for a ride on the waiver, which was amazing because it takes a lot of control to actually ride that thing. And Sanji makes everyone some food, and this is when Eneru was brought up. You have a god, Luffy asked? Interesting. We're not going to go fight God, you idiot, Usopp yells. Says you, Zoro states. What is wrong with you two? Seriously. Walking into the room with more food, Sanji would then say they give up, but Connie would then seriously say that they should not say that because they might get judgment from even saying such a thing. But Luffy says that they're just joking around. Her energy, it radiates misery, Luffy thought. This really just does get more fishy. Moments later, Luffy would then join Pagaya at the beach as he watches him fix a waiver while his crew was readying the ship to go, but both the men are approached by the Sky Police who are crawling on the ground for some reason. Coney arrives at the moment that they do, and the men will then stand and they yell, Hisso! Yes, good work, Hisso, yells Pagaya. He tries to keep the enthusiasm, and Luffy would think, the hell is Hisso? And Pagaya would then ask what's wrong, why they're here, and the leader would then say Luffy is an intruder from the Blue Sea. Wait, he's a trespasser? Says Coney. Mr. Minkley, this must be a mistake. This feels very dangerous, guys, Chopper said. At that point, they'll hear Minkley try to extort them for 70 billion X-tolls, which makes them scream out in anger, but Luffy stays calm, trying to de-escalate the situation when the voice of Nami is then heard. Looking to the sea, Luffy would then ask how her ride went, and she would say, forget that, are we in trouble or something? This guy's trying to get us to pay 70 billion X-tolls, said Usopp. Slamming the waiver into Minkley's face, Nami is pissed off, sending him flying as she berates him while Luffy would have to hold her back, saying, sorry, she's our financial advisor, you can understand her anger. Getting up, Minkley in anger then says that they have to be exiled to the clouds, leaving Pagaya and Coney terrified. Luffy would then push Nami away as she runs to the ship, because now this is getting more dangerous, and the police would then shoot arrows that make paths of cloud, which they then jump onto and ride to attack Luffy. Before they can strike from all sides though, their blades are then shattered as Luffy unsheathes his, and they're all shot as they fall to the floor and they crash face first. They would then get up and attack him again, but he knocks them to the ground with the hit to their stomachs, very easily, leaving them gasping for air on the ground. He's very strong, Coney thought. That's it. Now you're S2 criminals, yelled Minkley, but you should have just surrendered. Making his men run away with him, they clear away and the Strats come back to land so they could talk. Now he says that the old woman lied to them and describes what she saw at Cloud's End, or wherever she went, not Cloud End, it was Upper Yard, yeah, she got close to Upper Yard, so they decide to leave because they seem to be causing trouble for the citizens. But before they do, Usopp wants to borrow some parts from Pagaya and tools to fix Mary, and Luffy wants to get the rest of the food that they were eating. While Zoro, Robin, and Chopper stay on the ship waiting for everyone else, this is when their ship is risen and begins to go farther and farther into the sea clouds, and looking down, Chopper sees something. A freaking lobster? They all realized that their ship was being taken away by the lobster, and they just couldn't leave Mary behind, and they were just kind of trapped. That is until Luffy flies to them, and he comes from Coney's house, but the denizens see him, flying, and he thrusts and completely blows away the creature with one attack. Watching from their home, Coney is left scared yet happy, as she never thought Luffy would be so strong. Is he a god, she thought? As the ship is dropped, Luffy would then blow some wind into the sails as he pulls it to the shore, saying, "Alright, I'm gonna put up a curtain. This is way too dangerous." "A curtain?" Robin asked. Making a hand sign, Luffy would then begin to say, "Emerge from darkness, black into darkness, purify that which is impure." A black-like goop begins to form and just droop around the ship in a spherical shape, leaving the crew mesmerized until it covers Mary in this dense, very hard black stuff. And Luffy would then say, now the ship can only be reached by the Strats and no one else. Does this ever stop being weird? Nami asks. As he walks out, Luffy would then say she decides to join their crew, so she expects something weird, maybe something even weirder. He phases through the curtain quite literally, and Robin would then touch the walls, inspecting it and asking, "These techniques, they're also from cursed energy, right? It's extremely versatile." "Yeah, just try not to think about it too much," Zoro said. "That's what I do." He then lays back for a nap, and Luffy meanwhile makes it to town, and he finds that people are radiating fear much more and looking at him until he sees the others run over, and they ask if the others are okay. "Yeah, they're fine. Alright, let's go. Sorry to bother you guys. I did it." Luffy hearing this and looks to Coney, as does everyone, with them telling her to shut up and not to say anything, and Coney would then say she called the lobster, and she falls to her knees in tears. "You idiot, what have you done? That girl's done for. Get away from her." "Please, just run away. I'm sorry," said Coney. Getting shocked by this news, the three wonder what could be so scary that she would do this. From above, a bright light begins to drop, and lightning would strike. While holding his hand out, Luffy grabs a hold of space, spinning and turning the trajectory of the lightning back to the sky, leaving everyone shocked as the lightning pierces the sky, returning to its center. He returned it? Minkley, who was hiding much like everyone else, looks to Luffy with awe yet fear. He just threw Eneru's judgment back at him. He defied God's judgment, and he lived? Is he another god? As Mont begins to spread, Sanji would then give a hand to Coney as she stands, and he wipes away her tears. "Luffy, what do we do?" Making a hand sign, Luffy would then say, "Emerge from darkness, black into darkness, purify that which is impure." A curtain would then slowly form, and another drop of lightning hits, only to be blown away by the barrier, leaving the Skypeans at a loss for words at what they were just seeing. The barrier now completely covers the island that they were on. Even though, more judgments were sent down, it does absolutely nothing. "Who are you?" Coney asks. Walking off, Luffy says that they're gonna go to the upper yard, as he says, "Don't worry. As long as you all stay in this barrier, you will not be hit by the attack or judgment." Running after Luffy, Usopp would then come with Sanji, and Sanji asks what this barrier is, and Luffy explains it, but he says that only lightning is gonna be warded off, so anything else can come in, anything else can be thrown in, so anything else is free game. For now, let's go to upper yard. Their eyes fill with determination as they exit the barrier, when they then meet the Sky Knight, who flies before them and lands ashore. "What is this? What have you done?" Walking past him, Luffy says that he can just go through the barrier if he wants, right as lightning would then strike again, and the Sky Knight is caught off guard, but realizes what's going on. He looks back to see the Straw Hats leaving, and thinks, the leader, that young man, he protected them. Damn it, I need to get in there. He has his steed run up to the place, the curtain, and he actually touches it to make sure he can actually go through it, and then he actually does. Meanwhile, the Straws then now head to upper yard, and they encounter monsters, traps. They would destroy them, and they come to a stop before a stone platform. It was an altar in the middle of surrounding sea clouds, in the same place as the original, and there are 4 sets of entrances forward. "So what's the plan?" Chopper asks. Patting Chopper on the head, Luffy will then say not to worry. "You guys do what you want. I'm gonna go kill God." Flying to a random entrance, he heads to Eneru, and everyone feels a nervous sweat drop. "Yeah, Luffy's pissed," Dale thought. "I suggest we go exploring," Robin said. "Oh, good idea. Wait, actually, what if they take Mary again?" An embarrassed Luffy at this point then comes over back again as he puts up a curtain before then flying off, leaving everyone chuckling. "Shut up, I forgot, okay?" He then flies back to the other side of the trial thing, and he finds himself over a cliff, and he dives down and lands on some giant tree roots of a tree. As he looks around, wondering what this place is for, he will see some giant floating sphere cloud, and one of them will then close up on him, and he simply taps it away when he's enveloped by an explosion. Leaping to the sky, he is then unharmed from it when he then senses someone, and with a turn, slashes to the sky, ripping open Satoru's chest, and his eyes are left gleaming with red. Mantra. Impossible. With a spin, he then kicks this priest to the ground, and he crashes and is left bleeding out. And Luffy, meanwhile, just flies off, avoiding the balls now, until he rises to a new part of Upper Yard, and he heads deeper and deeper into it. Meanwhile, the Shandorians have attacked and are countered by 3 other priests, the main other priests, and some sneak past them, following Viper, when they then come across Luffy running and jumping about from tree to tree. That's the guy Asia was talking about, right? Viper would then nod, saying to not attack him. Luffy would then turn and see them, and he then stops and lands, and they land before him. "Nice to meet you again." "You remember," Viper said. "Who are you?" another warrior asked. "Monkey D. Luffy." I'm gonna go kill Dot. I keep fucking that up. I don't know why. Saying that sentence is so weird for me as a Christian. I'm gonna go kill God. Yeah, right. That's my job, said Wiper. Leave before I make you. Yeah, we both know I'm stronger than you. The air on Luffy is indeed dangerous, and they do not dare attack. With them seeing Luffy fly off, and Wiper is pissed, calling him an asshole. And as night falls, Luffy will just take a nap somewhere while the Straws were gathered to the ship where Sky Knight / Ganfall was waiting for them. He fills them in on the history of Skypiea, and the Straws have learned that part of Jaya rose to the sky and became part of Skypiea. They then sleep under the curtain, unbothered, pretty awesome for them, but Luffy wakes up and then he starts to hear snarling. Slowly opening his eyes, he is then being slithered around, and he looks up to see a giant snake looking down at him. Hey. The snake responds by going to bite him as Luffy would then ready himself to attack, but then he accidentally releases his haki, and a massive burst that sends the snake smashing into a tree, leaving him knocked out. And Luffy would then stand as he checks the creature. I really don't get this haki stuff. Oh, time to move on. Luffy would then move, and he's unaware of the massive game Eneru has started for his own amusement, with Shandorians now fully started an assault, and already Wiper managed to be Shura, one of the priests. However, he is left injured and limps as he bleeds, and his men then run over, saying, "Are you crazy? That's a reject Dao, Wiper." Running to him, they ask if he cared more about his life, but ignoring them, he fires a gun at an attacking heavenly warrior of Eneru, killing him. Look, we're already in enemy territory, but at least let's try to spread the damage instead of incurring it all. We don't want to be captured together. Is that fine with you, Wiper? Fine, every man for himself. He then goes about his own way, but already on his way, Wiper would then come to see Luffy punch at a heavenly warrior, and they both lock eyes. And instantly, Wiper would then fire shots at Luffy, but he just swats them away with his bare hands. If you do that again, I'll pummel you, sir. I don't want to fight you anyway. We're not enemies. Feeling the bullets from Luffy, regardless, Wiper would then fire again. He's kind of on like fight mode. When instantly, he's then grabbed by the face and slammed to the floor, causing him to spew blood, as he would then be, forced to use an impact dot, which he uses on Luffy's ribs. But upon hitting Luffy, it does nothing. What kind of monster are you? Taking his hand off Wiper, however, Luffy would then cover him with reverse cursed energy while he walks off. And the Strondorian would then sit up, left shot, and he asks how Luffy did that, but Luffy just jumps away. He's kind of like annoyed by him at this point, like, bro, I don't want to fight you, but you keep attacking. Like, Luffy can only be so nice, like, go away. Meanwhile, the Straws have moved their ship, and thus they have rendered the curtain useless, so it fades away. And Nami, Ganfo, and Usopp and Sanji use it to move past the areas. They go on a cloud pass. And Zoro and Chopper are met by heavenly warriors and Shandorians alike. Robin as well, of course, yeah. Robin, Zoro, and Chopper met by Shandorians and stuff like that. Chopper would then face Kidatsu, with Eneru having knocked out Usopp and Sanji on the ship while setting his people on Nami and Ganfo. But Chopper does, of course, Kidatsu's, he's done. He's out. And he finds the results to be a pirate for real. Coney and Paglia meet Nami and Ganfo on their ship and bring along Isa, who wants the voices to stop because of her mantra, and she can sense people dying out, and it's just traumatizing for her. And Eneru is just messing around, but Luffy would then make it to the ruins along with Wiper when he then sees Chopper fall from a strike done by the priest Om. He cannot pass it either. Such sadness, said the priest. As Chopper falls, however, he's then caught by Luffy, who appears before Om and looking to the men, and enraged Luffy summons Rika that slams Om to the floor, leaving him spewing blood as he's practically flattened. The hell is that thing? Wiper thought, as Rika would then roar to the skies. What is wrong with me? Meanwhile, Luffy would then drop Chopper and heal him. The giant dog companion of Om, upon seeing Rika, would then hide in fear, though not very well because he's a giant, and Luffy would then just lay down Chopper. And this is when he hears a voice. Oh, are you mad? The voice of Eneru is heard, with Wiper turning to see him atop an altar with a smile, and with anger he fires at him, but as he nears the god, he would dodge, having a nervous sweat drop, leaving Wiper clicking his tongue in anger. You can't just get me like that. Sea Storm Prism? Not bad, but you'll have to actually hit me. Luffy would then take his ring out and put his hat atop Chopper's head. Well, his hat. And he says, Rika, follow my lead. As Eneru tilts his head in it, kind of interest, in the blink of an eye, Luffy appears before him. He thinks, he's fast. It won't matter though. However, much to a shot, Luffy will then slash through his actual body as he bursts with blood, and Wiper a shot he actually reached his fake god, who will then teleport behind Rika and fire off a blast, but with the turn, she catches the attack and sucks him to the giant jack, the giant sprouting, tree that was going to Eneru's home, and he thought, Mantra? How is that possible? He begins to fall and Luffy is flying to him with Rika then roaring as an angry Eneru will then fire a black bullet of lightning and Luffy's blade then clashes with it before slashing it in half. Curse sovereignty! With these words, Eneru is sent flying past the tree and past a bunch of clouds and is cleaved into as Luffy will then follow after him and Viper is about to run when he hears something and turns to see Zoro who has just arrived. Huh? How did I end up here? How the hell should I know? Are you with the Straw Hat guy? Viper would ask. Yeah, and? How will Luffy grow from his fight with Eneru? Will the Golden Bell be found? Find out in the next part of One Piece. It's been your boy Prince of What Ifs, and I hope you enjoyed this part. Peace. I'm gone.
Yeah, you better listen. I'm bringing heat. You'll be a fan when I start rapping. Way I'll have your fucking head spinning. I'm known as spit vicious. Release bombs and go tick tick. Boom, you blown me that head missing. I'm a phenomenon. Stacking cheese like it's Parmesan. 8 different flows, call me Octomom. I'm moving fast like the Autobahn. And I'm independent, so I'm not your